This is CBC Windsor News. I'm Jennifer LaGrassa. Thanks for joining us. Is Spirit Halloween planning to set up shop all across downtown Windsor? CBC's Jason Vio on why it looks like the costume store is moving in and the issue it's trying to unmask.
Spirit Halloween coming soon signs are plastered all over vacant buildings in downtown Windsor. There are no plans for the spooky store to make an appearance downtown. Instead, the man behind it wants to draw attention to and start a conversation about filling these empty storefronts.
I think that's the goal of this, yeah. I mean, I think that's the goal with all of my art. It's somewhat political, somewhat satirical, and I use a lot of humor. And this just made me smile.
As an artist and business owner who has been in the downtown for more than 20 years, he's seen the ups and downs of the core.
There's more than enough talent and people that want to do things. It's just the prices of everything is too high. The taxes are too high. We were getting taxed on no foot traffic other than Saturday during the farmers market. And it's frustrating, but like you can't voice that. Like there's opposition to that voice, so we're trying to do different things.
Recently, though, downtown councillor Ronaldo Agostino says he's been able to connect new businesses with landlords who are motivated to get people into those vacant storefronts.
And I know the right people, and I was able to help negotiate a lease for a tenant that was 70% less than what the prior tenant was paying, right? And now what you see is that tenant is working his and her behind off to make that business extremely successful. Why? Because they have the opportunity to make money. Part of it also is some of the stuff we've done at the city by, our increased bylaw enforcement, by, with strengthening the core. We're not making it easy for you to sit in a vacant building. You got to pay the bills, right? And the taxes.
The Downtown Windsor Business Improvement Association says it's focused on two things to improve the core and eventually fill those vacant storefronts. More events to change people's perception of the core and getting more people to live in the downtown.
The problem we have right now is there's just not enough people living in the core that have day-to-day demands that make the business proposition make sense for somebody to say, hey, I'm going to locate downtown. And so I think projects like the Karen Avenue EOI, like the Polisher Street EOI, that are going to, together, those two probably bring another 500 or 600 units downtown. That's where we're going to start to really see the value proposition for downtown change.
In the last 2 years, 24 businesses have popped up in the downtown core and 11 have closed. That's according to Agostino, but everyone agrees there's still a lot of work to do to fill the existing vacant storefronts in the city's downtown that are currently highlighted by these Spirit Halloween banners, signs that are keeping the conversation around revitalization alive. Jason Vio, CBC News, Windsor.
A brother-sister duo are raising awareness about aging with Down syndrome and the supports that are needed. CBC's Jacob Barker sat down with them to talk all about their unique project.
And background action.
It was the chance to do the production of a lifetime and bring together work and family.
My name's Drew Hittenraw.
Okay, can you spell it?
DREWHYTTENRAUCH.
You have the same name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his sister.
Professional filmmaker Drew Hittenraw found a way he and Natty could help head off an issue with Down syndrome.
In 1950, only 1% of Canadians with Down syndrome reached 40 years of age. Today, 30% of the population is over 40, but healthcare systems have remained the same.
A reality the siblings will face together.
Yeah, I live with my sister and I'm her primary caregiver.
So Drew, as the producer-director, and Natty, as an actor, went to work, creating an ad that would be part of a national campaign for the Canadian Down Syndrome Society.
This is something that I'm going to face as we grow older as well. So this commercial really resonated with me and felt like over my 18 years of doing this, this was the most meaningful and fulfilling project I've ever done.
Showcasing people with Down syndrome in everyday situations.
They're going to work in the elevator or just enjoying coffee with friends at the coffee shop. Neurotypical individuals just reacting and seeing this and being surprised, but also happy to see that, individuals with Down syndrome are thriving.
Do you have coffee with your friends?
Yeah.
Is that fun?
Yeah.
Do you do it a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like acting?
Yeah.
Do you want to act?
Embarrassed a little bit.
Drew says the quality of the production was that of a big city, but the effort was all Windsor-based.
It was amazing that all the businesses came together, like Nico's, and we filmed at Anchor Coffee. Got the best crew in Windsor to come together and create a national campaign spot here in Windsor.
Actors came from all over the province to take part. In one scene, Natty took center stage.
We deserve care.
And it just so happens that Natty shares a name with her personal support worker.
Both Natalie's, and we both go by Natty. Natty 1, Natty 2.
She says PSWs like her are branching out from working with elderly patients to working with adults with Down syndrome.
I think that more PSWs should explore this sector of healthcare.
The Canadian Down Syndrome Society says there needs to be a shift towards lifelong support as more of its community lives into their 50s, 60s, and beyond. A message that resonates with Natty and Drew, and one that they're helping to bring awareness to.
Good job, Nat.
Woo!
With their skills and their relationship.
I'm proud of you.
Jacob Barker, CBC News, Windsor.
Colette Kennedy is here. Colette, a gray and rainy day out there we had.
Yeah, gray, rainy, windy too. I mean, wind gusts over 50 kilometers an hour, and even when they weren't there, they were over 40. So not the most pleasant day, and the radar shows the story that it's not over with. Of course, more showers in this evening, more behind this with this area of low pressure and the trough that we're in, lending to this pattern, which is going to be around for a little while yet. Taking you through the evening hours, we could get a little bit of a dry slot in there, 10 degrees. Then, yeah, we'll be lucky to have that 10. 6 degrees overnight tonight with some showers. And then tomorrow, I do still have showers in the forecast, but they'll be a little lighter, a little more isolated. So it's improving slowly. I'll have more details on when we break out of this coming up.
Okay, thanks, Colette. The Conference Board of Canada is predicting brighter days ahead for Windsor despite the near-term uncertainty caused by U.S. tariffs. The research organization says Windsor's economy is on track to expand by close to 2%, with most of that growth taking place in the back half of the year. It also expects 2026 to pick up steam as the Nexstar battery plant will be in full swing, leading to thousands of direct and indirect jobs. Also boosting the sector, the $300 million investment by Minth Group. The company plans to build EV battery casing in a plant by the Windsor Airport. However, the report says Windsor's population growth will begin to slow. Now, in a matter of months, Amherstburg's largest employer will be calling it quits. The Crown Royal plant is scheduled to close in February, taking with it about 200 jobs. The workers' union is renewing its demand that the province take action against Diageo, Crown Royal's parent company. It wants the Ford government to pull all Diageo products from LCBO shelves and do it now. And it's a message it stressed at a meeting with Doug Ford last week.
I'd much rather him impact the company now so they can reflect on the decisions they're making, because we are their number one supplier in North America. And that impact won't even come close to the cost of keeping that plant open. Well, there's people that are talking about, we have 2 other sites, one in Quebec, one in Gimli, and when it comes to the Crown Royal. But I said Diageo has a lot of brands where they don't manufacture or bottle here. And maybe we should look at taking those off the shelf, like a Bailey's, for instance. There's hundreds of millions of dollars that we make sure that's on the shelves for Diageo. And if you do that, I guarantee you they'll be back in the boardroom making a decision. What should we do next? What are our next steps? But right now, they're thinking that nothing's going to happen. The company believes that, okay, we might for a short period of time not have Crown Royal on the shelf after the plant's closed, but we'll weather the storm and get through it. This would be a whole different scenario if he started right now. And especially with Christmas coming up, because that's when the sales are really big. That's when we're very busy at Diageo. And it'd be there, the Diageo brand would be in big trouble if that's the case.
So far, the Premier has not committed to removing any Diageo products from the LCBO before the Amherstburg plant closes. New research suggests fewer children developed an allergy to peanuts after they were exposed to the food early on in life. Christine Burak explains the research findings as well as how and when parents can start introducing peanuts to their kids.
So how old were your kids when you introduced peanuts?
As soon as he was able to sit upright and he was allowed to have purees, so which around 6 months.
I think earlier is definitely better.
That may surprise parents with older children, but advice changed dramatically around 10 years ago. Now studies suggest introducing peanuts as early as 4 months old can help.
So this study is really exciting.
A new American study looked at guidelines for early food introduction and patterns of food allergy. Researchers found introducing allergy-causing foods early, especially peanuts, can lower allergy rates in children. Kids born after 2015, when new guidelines were introduced, saw a 43% drop in peanut allergies. Doctors say milk allergies also declined, but egg stayed roughly the same. This doctor's daughter has severe allergies. She says if she could go back, she would have offered peanuts, eggs, and many other foods earlier.
The goal is to prevent these allergies because avoiding a food when you have a severe food allergy every single meal, every single day has a real impact on your quality of life.
You can do it, and you can do it safely. Have that confidence.
Doctors say food allergies impact roughly 1 in 2 households, or about 3 million Canadians, but advice on what to do isn't always clear.
Baby steps, that can be having a little bit of peanut butter thinned out and mixed with breast milk or expressed milk, with formula, with water diluted out, just a teeny bit on a baby spoon.
While the guidelines seem to be working, some children will still develop severe allergies. Canadian researchers are now looking at ways to better predict which kids are at highest risk so they can get the right support early on. Christine Burak, CBC News, Toronto.
There were a lot of inspirational stories to come out of this weekend's Detroit Free Press Marathon races. I met up with 2 competitors in Windsor, Essex who ran. Corey Belmore won the International Half Marathon, and Ronnie Bondi, who was one of the youngest to run the full marathon. And a fun fact about Bondi, he actually ran the virtual Free Press Marathon when he was just 11 years old in 2020.
My name's Corey Belmore. I'm the winner of the International Half Marathon at the Detroit Free Press this year. And my time was 1:07 and only actually won by 2 seconds, so it was a tight victory. I was 4th last year. That was my first time doing it. With a kilometer to go, or 800 meters to go approximately, I put a hard move in, and then shortly after, we were into the wind, so I just tried to push as hard as I could into the finish. Then working really hard for many years, and yeah, it was really cool to have a backyard, hometown kind of race that I was able to win, and seeing everyone and family, friends, community members on Riverside Drive cheering in the rain. I think they're the true heroes, to be honest. I'm used to all kinds of weather, and this honestly made it fun. I didn't think about like the pain of the race. I didn't think about how tired I was, how bad the breathing was. It was just like get out in the rain, endure the wind, push hard into the wind, and then try and stay relaxed throughout the chaos of it. I'm sure the younger me would be like proud to see that I was able to do that.
My name's Ronnie Bondi. I'm 16 and I did the Detroit Free Press Marathon. It took 3 hours and 40 minutes. It felt pretty good because it was my fastest marathon. I just keep that mindset that I can do this goal because this is a small step to an even big goal. But I also want to make it to the Boston Marathon in the future.
I will eventually stop talking about the marathon, I promise, but I am still on a high from that weekend, as I'm sure many people are. A look outside there was a serious chill in the air today. I will admit I had to turn on my heat in my apartment. Yep, I did it. Colette is going to be back with what's in store for the days ahead later in the program. But when we come back, we will have more news, so stay with us. Welcome back. The International Court of Justice says Israel must allow the United Nations aid agency, known as UNRWA, to provide humanitarian aid in Gaza. The court was asked by the UN General Assembly to issue an opinion on Israel's legal obligations after Israel effectively banned the aid agency from operating in Gaza.
The second sentence of Article 60 provides that, and I quote, "The occupying power shall in no way whatsoever divert relief consignments from the purpose for which they are intended, except in case of urgent necessity."
The court said the population of the Gaza Strip has been, quote, inadequately supplied, and that Israel as an occupying power is required to ensure the basic needs of the local population. Israel has not allowed UNRWA to bring supplies in the enclave since March, claiming some of its workers are members of Hamas. The court said Israel had not substantiated those claims. Israel's Minister of Foreign Affairs rejected the court's findings. Advisory opinions by the ICJ carry legal and political weight, but are not binding, and the court has no enforcement power. Russia has launched waves of attacks across Ukraine, killing at least 6 people, including children. The overnight strikes are also caused power outages in many parts of the war-torn country. A Russian drone hit a kindergarten with children inside in Ukraine's second largest city. One adult was killed there, but rescue workers managed to get all the kids to safety. Russia denies targeting the facility. Ukraine says more than 400 Russian drones and missiles were launched in what officials called a targeted campaign aimed at destroying the country's energy system. Construction has begun at the White House on Donald Trump's new ballroom, and it's prompting widespread condemnation. Many public officials and private citizens are expressing shock at how much of the historic East Wing was demolished. CBC's Willie Lowry has the details from Washington.
This project is really the fulfillment of a long-held dream of President Donald Trump's to build a ballroom that befits a president at the White House. And it's going to be big, really big. The White House says it will be 90,000 square feet with room for over 600 people. And the price tag is pretty big too, $200 million US. And Trump insists that much of the money will come from private donors.
We're putting up our own money with the government is paying for nothing. You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh. That's music to my ears. I love that sound.
Some have accused the White House of allowing donors to buy access. The White House initially said that there would be no structural changes to the existing building, but that appears not to be the case. Photos and videos show much of the East Wing being demolished, and that's raised concern among historians that the East Wing, home to the First Lady's office, may be irrevocably changed. There's also fear that the ballroom will dwarf the existing White House. It's expected to be nearly 35,000 square feet larger than the current building. Former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton expressed outrage on social media. She said, quote, "It's not his house, it's your house, and he's destroying it." The National Trust for Historic Preservation urged the White House to pause construction so plans could be properly reviewed. And for those visiting the area yesterday, it was a shocking sight.
This is America's house. This house does not belong to any one official. It belongs to the people. And so if you're going to, demolish a part of this house, you have to ask the people permission.
I think everything that's happening here is pretty shocking and not a great sign of the times.
It's just a developer doing what a developer does and trying to not caring about anything except their own profit and image.
The Trump administration has dismissed concerns, calling it, quote, manufactured outrage. Willie Lowry, CBC News, Washington.
We will be right back with Colette Kennedy with your full weather forecast, so stay with us. Colette Kennedy is back with us. Colette, it was a rainy, kind of chill in your bones type day, so I really just wanted to sip something warm and like wear a cozy sweater and hang out.
Yeah, that's the best thing about weather like this. It makes those things so much nicer, right? Because they're so comforting for us. So we'll take a look at when we're going to break out of this pattern. But I do want to show you what's happening for those with interests or friends, family, or even travel plans to, say, could be the Dominican, Jamaica, Cuba, even some of these issues into Haiti, certainly watching for what's going to be happening with Tropical Storm Melissa. Okay, so it has formed, and you know, normally, let's go in for a closer look. Normally we have a more distinct sort of cone, but there's so much uncertainty with this particular storm. Yes, it's expected to develop into a hurricane, and by the time we get towards the end of the weekend, beginning of next week, could be a major hurricane, but the direction of where it's going to go, it is not really determined yet. And these areas that I've mentioned could be seeing multiple days then of heavy rains and strong winds and getting into even some mudslides and issues like that, particularly for Haiti. So something we're watching very, very carefully with what's going on there in the tropics. That season's not over with, not till the end of November. Our current conditions just holding on there to double digits with that 10 degrees. We have had those blustery winds at times. Some of the gusts I was showing you there over 40, but have been more so over 50 kilometers an hour. So not quite as bad as yesterday, but still blustery. We've got another band of rain showers moving through. We'll likely get into a little bit of a slot where we get a dry period, but then there'll be more to come behind that. So anytime we get some sunny breaks in there during the daylight hours, just try and enjoy those, because they do tend to lend to the instability and then just add to at least the cloud deck as we see into tomorrow, but still probably some spotty showers in there from time to time, or a little bit of light drizzle as well. There's still a chance Friday, but I think here in southwestern Ontario we'll really be kind of pulling out of this pattern by then. So finally improvement coming in time for, well, we'll say the second half of Friday, but into the weekend as well. Your overnight temperatures sliding down a little bit further, so 6 degrees for our low. Tomorrow up to 12, a little bit below seasonal. And just for most of today, we've been about 5 degrees below seasonal, so 12 will actually be a welcome change. And then into Friday and Saturday, once we can get some of that sunshine back, we get those temperatures kind of trying to push back towards the mid-teens. One of the models actually wants to take them up into the upper teens. Not ready to do that quite yet.
Okay, it's not looking too bad. Thanks, Colette.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Have a good night.